Real Salt Lake escaped Panama at the death, a huge Eastern Conference matchup, and we'll update you on the Castrol Index next on The Daily. Welcome to The Daily for Wednesday, September 19th with Greg Lalas. I'm Jason Saghini. Real Salt Lake was down in Panama last night in Champions League action, and they needed a win. In the end, they finally got it, but it was certainly tough going, Greg.
Well, I can imagine the frustration of all the Salt Lake fans out there as they were watching this. I was on my couch frustrated as well because they kept having some chances and couldn't put it away. Finally, Alvaro Saborío is taken down in the box, and he puts away a 93rd minute penalty to get the 3 points. And that's a huge 3 points, Jason, because now they're in a good spot to advance to the quarterfinals. They have to face Herediano at home. If they can get a win by 2 goals or more, then they're through. That's all that really matters for Salt Lake. Herediano take on Tauro. We assume they're going to get that victory, and then they go to Salt Lake at Rio Tinto. That's where they need to put this one away.
All right, so Salt Lake got what they needed last night. The LA Galaxy they're in action tonight in Puerto Rico, but they're going to be very shorthanded.
They're going to be shorthanded. They're missing David Beckham. They're missing Robbie Keane. No Omar Gonzalez. No Sean Franklin. No Josh Saunders. Hector Jimenez starting at right back. But look, the last time they played Puerto Rico, they played mainly reserves in that one. They got a 4-0 victory. That was at home. Now they're in Puerto Rico in the middle of a long stretch of games. They have another big game this weekend coming up in the league, and that's why Bruce Arena was preserving some of his players. I expect the guys to be able to go out there and get a victory in Puerto Rico as well.
All right, that game 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Soccer Channel. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox Soccer as well, the Seattle Sounders down at Maratón. We've seen the Sounders do it in Champions League before. They don't necessarily have a problem going on the road. They'd probably be fine with a draw here. They're really in charge of their group, so we'll see what they can get down there. Well, there's a bunch of Champions League, but there's more MLS action tonight, so get your DVRs ready to consume all of this. The biggest matchup, an Eastern Conference top-of-the-table clash. It's 1 versus 3, but they're only separated by 2 points. Sporting Kansas City at the New York Red Bulls.
Yeah, and if you're going to DVR a game, it's not this one. Watch this one live because it's going to be a very good game. The Red Bulls looking very strong. Thierry Henry, with all that he did over the weekend against Columbus, he's fired up. They're looking to make that leapfrog into first place. Red Bulls head coach Hans Backe said the team looks fresh, and he said he expects Rafa Marquez, who looked fantastic against Columbus, to go about 55-60 minutes in this one as well. He's expected to start. For Sporting Kansas City, it's all about going for 3 points. They're on a 2-game road swing, but Peter Vermees said every game down the stretch is a playoff game. Matt Beasler, center back for Sporting, said we want 3 points in New York. They want to create some separation in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you remember last time those teams played in Kansas City, Peter Vermees kind of called out the New York Red Bulls for sitting back and playing defense. So that game 7 p.m. Eastern Time on MLS Live and Direct Kick. The other matchup that we got to talk about featuring an Eastern Conference team, the Columbus Crew taking on Chivas USA at home. Columbus really trying to push for the Eastern Conference playoff spot. This should be a win at home, Greg.
It should be. They've lost their last 2, so that's a concern. They want to get back on track and back into the playoffs. They're right now in 6th place, right behind DC United. Federico Higuain is expected to play after missing most of the game against New York with a toe injury, and Andy Grunebaum, who came out over the weekend with an injury after slamming into the post, is also expected to be back in the nets for Columbus.
All right, in the final game, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, the San Jose Earthquakes take on the Portland Timbers. The Earthquakes looking for a chance here at home to extend their lead in the Supporters' Shield race. Taking a look at the top performers in the Castrol Index from this past weekend, Greg, starts with CJ Sapong at the top of the list. A great week for him.
He had a great week. It's interesting to see how he's actually ahead of Thierry Henry, considering what Henry did, also getting Player of the Week honors for Thierry Henry. It's followed by Rodney Wallace, who got that goal for Portland, Kellen Rowe, who scored for New England, and Eric Osley from Toronto turning in a good performance. Those are the top 5 for the week. In the overall standings, not too much movement, but a little bit. Alan Gordon up at the top, followed by Danny Koevermans, who, despite all the injuries, remains. He must have had a fantastic start of the season, by the way.
That's how good Koevermans was when he was on the field, is that he's still up there.
Really amazing. Robbie Keane from LA, Thierry Henry in 4th place, and Steven Lenhart. So 2 strikers from San Jose in the top 5, and neither of them named Chris Wondolowski.
Very interesting. We'll see if he can change that tonight against Portland. 24 under 24 continues to roll out on MLSsoccer.com. Yesterday, we saw Chicago Fire goalkeeper Sean Johnson in at number 4. Greg, any clues to who's coming up today?
No idea, but I'm thinking attacking. Think attackers for the final 3, I believe.
All right, remember last year's number 1, still under 24, and we have not seen him yet. Plenty on the site today, including anatomy of a goal, so check back to MLSsoccer.com all day, and we'll be back on the Daily tomorrow.
This is the defenders of the old guard versus the soldiers of the Union. This is a united district attacking a battalion of blue and gold. East Coast rivals, sworn enemies, ready to do battle again. This is where real heroes are made, legends are born, and revenge taken. This is soccer. Philadelphia Union versus DC United. Tune into ESPN2 Thursday at 8 p.m.